Trading on the higher time frame is the first thing you want to do if you want to analyze the chart. This is because the higher time frame controls all that you see on lower time frame. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to analyze on the higher time frame, and most importantly, I'm going to show you how to execute on lower time frame using live trade. But before going into that, if you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Divine, and what I basically do on this channel is document how I trade, and as well show you the mindset behind my strategy. If you're not something like this, I want you to like, subscribe, and as well drop a comment. I'll be right back.
Now let's for instance say we want to analyze GBPUSD. The first thing we want to do is to simply go to the higher time frame and understand where price is going to. Is price in an uptrend or price in downtrend? Then with that we can use that to get our bias on what we're going to do on the lower time frame. So basically the first step is to go to the daily time frame, and mind you, this is a live trade. Whatever trade I analyze in this video is possibly what I'm taking for this week. Now on daily time frame, I simply want to zoom in properly so I'll be seeing clearly the bigger picture, because the bigger picture is simply what tells us what we're going to be doing as our bias. For instance, I've zoomed this in properly and I'm only interested in this low here and in this high. So I'm interested with how price went from this point to this point. I mean where price is going to, right? So basically if I'm to use my support and resistance now, this point is simply a point of support here. And this point here is a point of resistance. So basically, what support and resistance is saying, we're in an uptrend, and for every uptrend, there's always an up and a down. There's a lower high and there's a higher highs and higher lows. So basically, we are seeing higher highs and higher lows here. So if I've understood that we're in an uptrend, I simply want to be looking for buys, right? I'm still going to be looking for buys since we're in an uptrend, and we'll have to look for a point where we're going to buy from. Because for you to buy, there's basically going to be a point you're likely going to buy from. So because we're in an uptrend, I want to simply identify points I'm going to buy from. That gives us the next step where we're going to identify our key levels. So basically this point here is the point of key level. This point here is a point of key level. And this point as well is a key level. So basically this here is basically a resistance key level, and this point is a what? Support key level. So I've identified my support key level, and as well I've identified my resistance key level. Let me arrange it very well. So my bone of contention now, what I want to do right now is to simply understand what price has done from this point up to this point. Then I can find or locate where I'm going to buy from, because the whole point is that I'm going to buy because the high time frame is saying you should buy. So basically I want to go to the 4 hours time frame and understand market structure that price has done from this point to this point. Then I can identify my zones, right? Now on the 4 hours time frame, I basically want to understand what price has done from this support key level to this resistance key level. And if you look closely here, price is giving us a swing low, a swing high, a swing low, and a swing high. So basically this place is basically a point of demand, or let me call it, this place is a demand, is a zone, right? This area here is a zone because there are various type of zones. We have rally base rally, drop base drop, and the rest of them. So basically this place is a rally base rally, right? So we're interested in what price is doing at this point here now, and at this point here, when price goes to this point here, price also gives us a zone, right? And this point is simply a zone here, a demand zone, right? And this is not the recent, this is the previous zone, and this is the recent zone, right? We have seen the recent zone and the previous zone. Now when price go to this point here, because remember we are focusing on what price is doing at the key levels and how price is moving at the key level, then we can know where to enter from or where to move from. Now since price got to this key level, price is giving us or started filling zones, filled this previous zone here, and now this zone has now become a what? Supply, right? If I refine it on the 1 hour time frame, you see that this point is a point of supply. But that's not what we're doing here on the 4 hour time frame. We simply want to identify these zones, then go to the 1 hour time frame and then refine these zones. Now I haven't identified that this point price according to this point. We simply want to identify how price is moving from this point to this point. Now if you look closely, is that beginning to respect supply zone, and this point is first supply zone here, right? Price has respected this zone as a supply zone. Now, after this zone, where's the next zone that is a supply zone? Basically, at this point here, because this place is a rally, is a base, and there's a drop. You can simply see a rally, a base, and a drop. So basically, this point here is a point of supply. So I'm going to identify this point to become a point of supply, and this is the recent point of supply, right? Now, what we're going to basically do is we're going to go to the 1 hour time frame and refine these three zones to see how price related from these zones, and then know what you're possibly going to do as time goes on. So I want to go to the 1 hour time frame and refine these zones. Now going to the 1 hour time frame, let's refine this first zone here. That was a demand zone. Now the reason why this place is a supply zone is this. This is a drop, base, rally, which is a demand zone. But the demand zone failed, right? If I'm to define it now, this point now is simply a point of supply. But the demand zone failed. And when it basically failed, it became a flip zone, right? And as you can see clearly, price respected this here as a flip zone, which is acting as a what? Supply. So because here is a demand zone that failed, it becomes a supply zone for a flip zone. Alright? So that's how this point now became a supply. Now, because price is reacting from a supply, we simply identified another supply at this point here because this is the first supply, this is the second supply. So basically, if we were to define this zone here, we'll basically see that this point 2 is also a supply, right? This is a supply. So basically, we have refined supply zone. So let's go and refine the demand zone, because remember, on the higher time frame, we're looking for buys and we want to buy from a particular point. We're going to likely buy from a demand zone, and we need to be able to identify the demand zone we're going to buy from, and this is the obvious demand zone we are seeing at this point now. So if I define this demand zone now, we can basically see that this point here is simply a point of demand, right? Refining this zone now, it becomes a demand zone because there's a reason why price use this week to sweep out all this liquidity at this point here, and here is acting as a what? Demand, right? So if I'm to put this into the current point where price is, we're simply going to be having something like this. Let me put it to the end. Now I put it to this end here, we're simply seeing that for us to know our next point of maybe exit or where we're going to likely sell to or buy from, we simply want to understand the next point of demand and as well the point of supply. Now we've identified the point of supply, and basically analyzing this whole chart now, what I want to basically do is for price to come to this point and give me a reason to buy, right? So basically, due to my knowledge I have about this forex trading, I'm simply going to be selling to this point. I'm simply going to be selling to this demand zone here, and then which for what price is likely going to do if price comes to this demand zone for a buy. The bigger picture is buy. So I'm going to basically take advantage of a short-term sell from this supply zone to this demand zone. Now, how do you know if the supply zone is going to hold? There are certain things I want to see first before I choose or not if the supply zone is going to hold. That brings us to the next step, which is identifying liquidity. That means basically you want to define these zones on the 1 hour time frame and also identify liquidity on the 1 hour time frame. If you identify liquidity on the 1 hour time frame, you're likely going to be having a higher win rate. That means liquidity is very strong on the 1 hour time frame. But if you don't see liquidity on the 1 hour time frame, you can simply go to the 15-minute time frame and identify liquidity. Now in this case scenario here, I'm seeing that there's liquidity at this point here. That means I'm seeing a double top here. I'm seeing a double top here. But it doesn't guarantee me that this point is going to hold or this supply zone is going to hold, right? It doesn't guarantee me. So basically what I want to do is this. If price open, I'm also seeing another relatively equal lows here, right? I'm seeing relatively equal lows here. Now what I want to basically do is this. I want to see what price is likely going to do if price open. Because whatever price does when price open is likely what I'm going to be doing, right? I'm going to be using what price is doing to take decisions. Now for me to know if I'm going to buy or I'm going to sell, I simply want to see price do this. If price open on Monday, that is tomorrow, and basically price start going to the upside, then I'm guaranteed that this supply zone is going to hold. I'm going to look for a sell, right? So this is it here. If price open tomorrow being Monday, right, I'm going to be taking an entry at this point for a sell. My stop loss right above this point here. This point will be my take profit 1, and This point is likely going to be my full TP. So this is basically what I'll be taking come this week for GBPUSD. But now the reason why I won't take this trade is this: if price open and price start selling, I'm going to understand that price is likely going to fill that supply zone. All right. So basically, if price open and price start selling to the downside, I'm going to consider looking for a buy, right? So my buying now is simply based on if price starts selling to the downside, if price open on Monday. So basically what I'm going to do is this: if price open and price are going to the downside, then I'm going to be looking for buys, right? But if price open and price are going to the upside, then this setup is very valid and I'll be taking sales. So basically, my projection for GBPUSD is this, and what I'm saying right now, I'm suspecting that price is likely going to start going to the upside on Monday if price open, and basically, then I'll be looking for entries for a sell from this point here down to this demand zone for a 1:5. But basically, I like to manage my trade. I'm going to first of all take my take profit one here, 1:1. I'm going to break even at this point, and then possibly look for a 1:3. I may not really allow price to get to this point before I close the trade. So basically, if good trade for me is basically a 1:3 risk to reward, right? Remember, my conclusion on this trade is this: if price open and price are selling to the downside, then I'll look for buys. But if price open and price are going to the upside, I'm sure to say that my setup is going to be valid and I'll be taking the trade. That'll be all for this video. I'm going to see you in the next one. Peace.